Hey everyone, it's Shailyn. I'm going to show you guys how I made my professional seamstress tabletop. The reason I call it that is because the tabletop allows me to pin patterns directly onto the table, while also allowing me to iron directly on the table without having to use an ironing mat or anything special like that. The tabletop only requires a couple layers. You'll need plywood, homasote, and canvas. The homasote is what you'll need to be able to pin directly onto the table, and then the canvas layer will also allow you to iron directly onto the table. And now the reason I'm calling this a tabletop instead of just a table is that this is an extra board, an extra piece of material that is directly on top of my table that I already have. So my plan here is to create a frame that goes around the whole table here. That's why the measurement is very important, because instead of putting a tabletop on top and then drilling it down all the way around the table, I want it removable. You just create a frame where it's just big enough to go all the way around the table, and then have it so it just sits right here. So we got our materials from Home Depot. We got interior 1x3s that we asked them to cut out for us in the length we needed. For the frame, we needed two 1x3s that were the length of the table and two that were the width of the table plus the width of the 1x3s. We had them cut out the plywood and the homasote as well, but because of width requirements at the store, they were only able to cut out the plywood and homasote to the length we needed, but not the width. So that's what we're doing here. Since it's a tabletop, the measurements should be the exact same as the top of your table. Of course, if you decided to make a whole new table for yourself, it's whatever length and width you want your table to be. Now we're putting the table together. We laid the plywood directly on top of the table, then the homasote. If it's cut out correctly, it should fit exactly. Now we start drilling and screwing the boards around the table. If you're doing a tabletop like us, make sure you don't drill onto the actual table. Again, if you measured your boards correctly, the pieces that go on the side of the tabletop should include the width of the two boards that were already placed there first, so it's completely flush all the way around. I chose to use pale blue duck canvas that was 60 width and 2.5 yards long. Admittedly, I ordered canvas previously but only ordered 2 yards, and it was about 3 inches too small. Anyway, after looking at fabric, I decided to cut it so it would go all the way around to the bottom of the boards without having extra fabric over. If you've upholstered before, you know you don't really need to do this, but since the table is just a rectangle, the measurements weren't too hard to figure out. Once cut out, we pulled the fabric over and made hospital corners at the corners and stapled the fabric all the way around. Now you have a professional seamstress tabletop that you can iron and pin right on top of. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed this video on how to make your own professional seamstress tabletop. If you have any questions on how we put this together, please feel free to comment below, or just let me know if this was super helpful for you guys. I'd really love to know if you guys made this. Don't forget to hit like on this video if it was helpful in making your own seamstress tabletop. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel for future sewing projects.